Alright, let's talk about something that's been absolutely buzzing across the internet, the Pi network. Now, if you've been even remotely interested in cryptocurrency, you've probably heard the name. Unlike Bitcoin or Ethereum, which often requires some pretty serious computer hardware and a whole lot of electricity to mine, Pi network took a completely different approach. The founders, a group of Stanford PhDs, wanted to create a digital currency that anyone, and I mean anyone, could access. All you need is your smartphone. You just open an app once a day and tap a button to prove you're a real human, and that's it. You're mining Pi. It's designed to be incredibly simple and accessible, which is a huge reason why it has attracted millions and millions of users who are called pioneers. The core idea behind Pi is to build a massive distributed network of people first, before the currency has any official market value. Think of it like building a giant city before opening the shops. By getting millions of people on board early, the network establishes a strong foundation, setting the stage for potentially massive developments, which brings us to the incredible news that has everyone talking right now. So, let's get right into the number that has the entire Pi community in an absolute frenzy. $314,159. You'll see this referred to as the GCV, which stands for Global Consensus Value. This isn't just some random number pulled out of thin air. It's a direct and very clever reference to the mathematical constant pi, approximately 3.14159. The community latched onto this figure as a symbolic and aspirational price for a single Pi coin. It's more than just a price target, it's a movement. Believers in the GCV argue that if millions of pioneers all agree that this is the value of one Pi, then that becomes its de facto price within their ecosystem. Now, from a traditional finance perspective, this sounds absolutely insane. How can a community just decide on a value, especially one that high? Usually a cryptocurrency's price is determined by supply and demand on open market exchanges, Binance, Coinbase. Buyers and sellers place orders and the market finds an equilibrium. The GCV concept turns this idea on its head. It proposes that value can be established internally through social consensus before ever touching an external market. The argument is that with a network as large as Pi's. Alright, let's break down the news that has completely electrified the Pi community. A major agreement has reportedly been reached involving a coalition of Pi network merchants ecosystem developers to formally adopt the global consensus value, $314,159 per Pi. This deal is slated for implementation this October. It's a landmark event, it's not just talk, it's a structured plan. The announcement says many businesses inside the Pi ecosystem have committed to pricing goods and services at that valuation. This is the moment GCV supporters have been waiting for, a coordinated, large-scale effort to make the consensus price real. This October deal formalizes the barter system that's been growing inside the enclosed mainnet. Not scattered trades, a unified front. Imagine thousands of online vendors and local shops updating price tags at once. A cup of coffee, 0.00001 Pi. A used car, 0.05 Pi. The goal, a massive synchronized economic shift. Prove GCV viability at scale before open mainnet launches, and set a precedent for Pi's value when it faces the wider crypto market. Let's get practical breakdown exactly what this October GCV deal means for the average Pi user. It can sound complicated, but the process is actually quite straightforward. This initiative is happening within the current enclosed mainnet. You won't be cashing out your Pi for dollars at a bank. Instead, you'll be using your Pi coins to purchase real goods and services from participating merchants. These merchants have agreed to honor the $314,159 valuation. Think of your Pi wallet as a special debit card that only works at stores that are part of this new agreement. Here's the simple four-step flow. First step, complete your KYC verification and migrate your Pi coins to your mainnet wallet. Second step, find participating merchants. Find them via dedicated apps on the Pi browser, or through social media groups, or forums where organizers publish vendor lists. These vendors range from online e-commerce stores to electronic sellers, apparel and clothing, and even local businesses like cafes or various service providers. As a user, you browse these platforms, find an item, and see its price listed in Pi. For example, a $31.41 t-shirt would be priced at 0.0001 Pi. This step is all about connecting buyers, pioneers with Pi, and sellers honoring the GCV. Step 3 is the actual transaction. You'll proceed to checkout just like any e-commerce site. Instead of entering credit card details, you'll be prompted to pay with Pi. The merchant will generate a payment request, likely a QR code or a wallet address. You open your Pi wallet, scan the QR code or paste the wallet address. Enter the exact amount of Pi required and authorize the transaction. The Pi blockchain handles peer-to-peer transfers, quick and secure. You send the Pi. The merchant receives it, and they ship you the product. It's a direct exchange of digital currency for a real-world item. To really appreciate the significance of this October GCV deal, you have to look at where the Pi network has been. For years, the project has been in a slow-burn development phase. The primary focus of the core team was on growing the network, enhancing security, and slowly rolling out key features like the Pi wallet and the KYC process. During this time, the value of Pi was purely theoretical. It was, just a number on a screen. Pioneers were accumulating coins with the faith that one day they would be worth something, but there was no concrete proof. The community was in a state of perpetual waiting. So what does this all mean for the average person who's been dutifully tapping that mining button every day? The potential impact is, frankly, staggering. For the millions of pioneers who have accumulated hundreds or even thousands of Pi coins over the years, this update is the first tangible sign their patience might pay off in a very big way. If this GCV of $314,159 is successfully established, even having a single Pi coin could be life-changing. Someone with 10 Pi would, in this ecosystem, have the purchasing power of over $3.1 million. This isn't about getting rich in dollars overnight, but about having immense purchasing power within the Pi economy. This creates a powerful incentive for more businesses to join the ecosystem. If merchants see that millions of pioneers are willing and able to spend Pi at such a high valuation, they will be clamoring to accept it. Because accepting even a fraction of a Pi coin in a transaction could be immensely valuable. This could lead a snowball effect. More users spending Pi attracts more merchants, and more merchants attract even more users, creating a self-sustaining and rapidly growing circular economy. For the everyday pioneer, this means the places where they can spend their Pi could expand from a few online shops to a vast network of goods and services both online and in their local communities. The excitement stems from this shift, from abstract potential to concrete utility. This October GCV update is fundamentally a game-changer because it represents a declaration of independence for the Pi network economy. For years, the crypto world has operated on a simple premise. A coin has no real value until it's listed on a major exchange and the open market decides its price. This has made new projects completely dependent on the whims of speculators and the centralized power of exchanges. The Pi community is attempting to flip this script entirely. They are building the value first, from the inside based on utility and consensus. If successful, it could create a powerful new model for how digital currencies are launched and valued. The update matters because it's a test of the power of social consensus on an unprecedented scale. We've seen meme coins like Dogecoin or Shiba Inu surge in value based on hype and community, but those were driven by speculative trading on open markets. The Pi GCV movement is different. It's not about pumping a price for a quick sell-off. It's about establishing a stable long-term valuation for use in a real-world economy. If a community of tens of millions of people can successfully establish and transact at a high, stable value before external market exposure, it would prove that value can indeed be created through collective agreement and utility, not just speculation. Furthermore, this is a direct challenge to the traditional financial system. So with all this incredible news, what should you, as a Pi pioneer, be doing right now? The very first and most important step is to make sure your house is in order. Complete your KYC, migrate to mainnet, explore the Pi browser, stay informed, check your status in the Pi app, complete all the items on your mainnet checklist. Without a verified account and your Pi migrated to your mainnet wallet, you'll just be a spectator. Next, get informed and connected. The success of this GCV deal hinges on community participation. You need to know which merchants are participating and learn how to transact with them. Explore the Pi browser. It's the gateway to the Pi ecosystem. Look for apps, look for forums, look for directories, join the official Pi network channels, join Telegram, join Facebook, join X, formerly Twitter. Be an active participant, read announcements, and ask questions. As October approaches, be prepared to participate, even in a small way. You don't need to spend a large amount of Pi, buy a digital sticker, buy a t-shirt. Every single transaction acts as a vote of confidence in the GCV. When you're ready to make a purchase, be cautious. Double check that the vendor is legitimate and has a good reputation. Finally, keep mining, keep building the network, and get ready for what could be a very interesting October.